Hey guys, I'm back with another college advice video. This one was requested a few weeks back and I'm just now getting around to filming it, sorry. Anyway, this advice video is going to specifically be over advice for how to handle college classes and college professors, study tips, staying organized, etc. I'm sorry that this is yet another video that I have wet hair or my hair is up or I don't have makeup on. Whatever, like I'm a really busy person. Like I almost didn't even film this video today and I just hopped out of the shower and I really want to film this. Honestly, like I just think like I look fine enough without makeup. Like wearing makeup is not an integral part of my everyday routine. So if I'm just being myself and just being a normal college student and talking to you how I talk to friends, like this is how my friends see me every fucking day. And honestly, as someone that doesn't think looks really matter that much when it comes down to like who you are as a person, and that's something I preach. I don't want to sit here and have to give you guys only a perfect vision of myself every day because this is fucking real life. Like this is just what I look like on the real. If you ever see me in real life or go to FSU and see me on campus, this is what you're gonna see. So I don't want to like false advertise to y'all. And this isn't even a beauty channel. This is a story time and advice channel. And since my stories are always going to be funny and my advice is always going to be killer, regardless of how I look when I choose to give you that information, I just don't give a fuck. I put together 3 mini story times because I know you guys like those over 3 very bizarre / bad / weird professors that I've had in college and lessons that I've learned about college and about teachers, and then I'll go into the rest of the tips that I've thought of. The first teacher I'm going to talk about was just a bitch. Like I have never hated a teacher so much besides my junior year pre-AP physics teacher. That guy was a dick. She just sucked. Like she just was a sucky person. The class was an article and essay technique course and I loved the course. I think every assignment was amazing and fun to do, and I thought the course as a whole and what it taught me was an excellent course. Like bravo FSU, it's a great fucking class. However, I happened to take it at the time with this teacher and this teacher happened to suck. It's a class where you wrote a bunch of nonfiction pieces of work, but you changed up how you wrote it. Like one would be a lyrical essay and then you'd write a piece of nonfiction that was a regular type essay, and then you would write a piece of nonfiction that was a photo essay. So you were writing pieces of nonfiction and like writing things and little stories about yourself in different genres of writing. Like it was a really cool class, but since the whole class was just everyone writing like stories from like their point of view and like their style of writing, like every writer is different, it's so fucking subjective, you know? Like the teacher's literally gonna grade you just based off of whether or not she likes your story. And that's literally how it was. She basically didn't like anything I wrote. Like I think there were like 5 assignments total in the whole class. Yes, another tip, just in case you didn't know, classes in college only give you like a few assignments that make up your entire fucking grade. You don't have little homework grades and little weekly quizzes that help you out if you bomb the tests. You have like 2 tests in a paper, or only 3 tests, or 3 papers, or 1 big presentation project and 2 tests. A combination of something like that are your only grades, and those make or break whether or not you fucking fail or pass. But of the like 5 big assignments this class had, she literally only liked 2 of the things that I wrote. And of the 2 that she did kind of like, she still only gave me like B's. Like, oh, I kind of like it. Everything else she gave me like C's, and I'm not a like C student. So I was like, this fucking lady is literally going to give me a C in her class just because she doesn't fucking like my style of writing or like my stories. The only advice I can give from that I wish I would have done is to go to office hours more. Teachers give you office hours so that you can meet with them individually because the class sizes are so big you can't really just like stay after class and talk really. Advise actually going to those if you're in a situation like this or if you're not happy with your grades or whatever, because I should have been going to her more being like, what specifically do you not like? Like how can I make this better? That's just like having a bad attitude on my end. That was me just being like, fuck her, like I know my writing's good, like really resenting her. But I did go to her office hours once and I did ask her, what specifically do you not like? And she literally, her reasoning for not even liking my work was something along the lines of you need to show, not tell more, which means use more imagery and paint the scene more rather than like say with narration like what was happening. And I feel like I was really putting in as much detail as I fucking could with what I was writing. I mean, I am telling a story, that's what writing is, so I'm sorry if parts of it are narraty. Then she also told me about parts that she just didn't like. She literally was just like, this paragraph, I just like don't like it. Literally one of my top 3 least favorite teachers I've ever had. All I can say, moral of the story, go to office hours, find out specifically what you have to change. Even if you have to completely change your style of writing just to make one teacher happy, just to get an A in the class, maybe that's really what you should do. But I didn't do that. So learn from my mistakes, as always, and go to office hours, utilize that shit. Second teacher experience, this teacher was just weird. He was so nice and so quiet, like a really easy pushover kind of teacher. Like we could all basically get away with anything. He was literally so fucking nice. He was really strange, and one of our big assignments out of our like 3 that made up our entire grade was we had to write a research paper that was like 3,000 words, which is pretty hefty in length. It could be on anything we wanted. And I was like, okay, like if I can research anything in the world that interests me, like I'm going in on this. And I said before that I really like horror, scary stuff. So I was like, I'm literally going to make an entire fucking research paper on demonic possession. We had to get our topic approved before we could start. So keep in mind this part of the story. I got this topic approved. My teacher was like, yeah, this sounds really interesting to me. Go ahead, go for it. So I write the first like 2/3 of this essay. So I'm like almost done with the paper and I am so proud of what I have. I'm like, yes, I'm killing it. Like this is going to be such an easy A for this class, like blah, blah, blah. I did get an A in this class, so worked out. I give it to him to read and I meet with him to like see how he likes it so far, like what's his critique, you know? And he literally tells me that he doesn't like my topic anymore. Like just whoop, changing your topic. You have still only a week until the due date and I'm completely changing your topic, like literally fucking up my world. And he was just like, I just don't really know how much I believe in like demonic possession and I don't know if I like want to read an entire paper on it. I don't know because it's not realistic to me. And he was like, you have a lot of talk in here about the devil. And I literally just looked at him like, did this motherfucker literally just whisper when he said the word the devil? Like, is he that religious or that scared of my paper that he doesn't even feel like he can say the word the devil out loud? Like, that was so just weird to me. I was like, that's kind of spooky. Like, why the fuck did you just whisper that? I was just like, oh, okay, like, it's fine. Like, how do you want me to change it? And I don't know, I was just felt so bad and so weirded out that obviously this like really like upset him. So I was like, whatever you want me to change it to, I'm just gonna change it. Like, I don't want to fuck with this. Like, this guy's so nice. And he was like, just talk more about how maybe demonic possessions are really just people with like mental illness that like think they're possessed, but they're just mentally ill. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. So I didn't really want to write the paper on that, but that was a sacrifice I made just to do fucking well on the paper. I got an A on that paper and an A in the class. So me taking his critique was a good thing to do. So do utilize teacher critique. Last teacher experience, this teacher was a not so nice lady to me. She was very rich, made it very known she was rich, but only wear designer clothes to class, would literally spend half of our lecture time each class day to literally just talk about her weekend and share personal experience stories and stuff, which was great because I didn't want to be learning, honestly. Like, I'd rather just be sitting there on my phone listening to her story for like 30 minutes. She would just talk about, oh, my husband just made a business deal with blah, 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 rich man. And I just got this new jacket from rich store. Don't you all love my jacket? And then everyone's like, yes, miss, your jacket looks so good. Like, super kissing her ass because she was kind of not that nice and you wanted her to like you. I never went to that class because I did not want to go to a lecture where half the time was going to be spent on her just talking about how rich she was, which definitely hurt my grade. You should go to class, but it didn't hurt me as much as it could have because she did post a lot of stuff online. On the first test, I got like an 80 or something. And then the second test, I got like a 72, which is shitty because that's a C instead of a B, but it's still only 8 points lower than like my first grade. It's like not drastically lower, you know? The third test, I was sick and had to make it up in office hours. So I went to her office hours to make up the test and I felt really good about the test. And when I turned it into her to leave, she literally pulled me to a side. And mind you, this is a class where it's a big lecture. Like, I did not even think this lady knew my name, you know? And she like pulls me aside and she's like, Brighton, like, I've noticed that you have not been attending my class that often, and I can really tell in your grades. Like, what? My grade only dropped by 8 points. Like, what the fuck? So I was like kind of offended and kind of like uncomfortable that she was like shitting on me, because I just like don't do well with confrontation. I was just like, I'm really sorry. Like, I really have been sick a lot and blah, blah, blah. Like, I just made up excuses that did sound legitimate. Then, to make it even better, once I got my grades back for that test I just made up in her office hours, since I'd gotten like, I don't know, I think I got like a 90 on that one. She literally then made me stay after class. After the whole lecture, she was like, Brian, can you stay after class? And I was like, yep, great. I stayed after, and she was just like, I just want to let you know that I'm really proud that you did so well on your test this time, but I'm just really confused how you could have gotten such worse grades the first few times and not done so well. AKA, she was literally accusing me of cheating. I just said, like, I'm a freshman, so I don't know anything, and I just didn't know that it was so bad to skip class, and you were right and I was wrong, and it was bad for me to skip, but I studied really, really hard to show you that I was smart, and I did better. That's basically what I said. I don't know, whatever I said worked, and she bought it, and that was that. But moral of that story is actually attend class, because even if you don't think teachers know, apparently some of them do know when you specifically like are not coming. And just in general, it is better to be in class. You get so much crucial information given to you in class from your teacher that is never going to be posted online, or little changes in the calendar that you're never going to know about unless you were there in class. And 95% of the time you don't have friends in your college classes. It's not like high school where every single class you knew like almost every single person, because like all the same kind of people like went to class together. In college, each class you have is with a whole new set of 100 random people, depending on how big your school is. I go to a really big school. The rest of the tips I have for handling college academics and professors are, when it comes to studying for tests, start studying days in advance. I know this sounds weird. It sounds like a waste of time, because in high school you never have to do this. Literally in high school, anytime I had a test, I studied the night before. I just memorized the fuck out of everything with like Quizlet or flashcards, and then I just went to class and took the test, multiple choice memorization, always made A's, like easy as fuck. You think that's just how all tests are going to be for the rest of the time, but no, like I said, since you're only taking like 3 tests a semester that make up your entire grade, each test then is like a month and a half apart, and you're learning a lot of information in a month and a half. You're having to memorize a month and a half worth of material for each test you take. So you have to study days in advance, because you are studying so much information, like literally maybe 150 textbook pages worth of information for one test. And when it comes to taking your notes, it is scientifically proven or whatever that if you take notes by hand, your brain does recollect the information better than if you type it on a computer. And I really think this is true. Like, I always take notes by hand, and the few times that I have taken it on a computer, it just does not seem as effective. But taking it by hand, I think, really does help you memorize it better, and you can just like see your own handwriting in your mind then when you're reflecting back on your notes, rather than just, you know, text on a screen that's also uniform. And also you can like take notes with different colors, and the colors help you memorize better. So I always suggest taking notes in lecture by hand, and then if it's like really scribbly or something, you can type them up later to make them look neater, and then also be like reminding yourself of that information as you're typing. A great way to stay organized, this is what I do, is to use the calendar that your like laptop comes with. Like, I have a Mac, so I have like some iCalendar thing that's just like an app in the desktop, and I click on it and it pops up and it shows like monthly and daily, and I just make a little set of flags that are different colors that are the different names of my classes, and then I type in all the different things all over the days of the calendar where things are due, or I need to start researching things, or when I have tests in the different colors to coordinate with the classes. And then every single day my computer alerts me with a pop-up the same way you would like on your iPhone if you got a text being like assignment 2 due in 2 days, and like reminds me and like shows me what I need to be working on and what I have due and what classes I have. And it's super convenient, and I just think it's way more handy than like a planner that you have to carry everywhere and you have to write in and you have to remember to take it out of your backpack, when your laptop is literally always in your face. You know it is. And the fact that it notifies you like that, the same way your phone does, like you're not going to forget. So it's great. When it comes to getting assignments done, don't procrastinate. I am the world's biggest procrastinator, so I'm the biggest piece of shit hypocrite by sitting here and saying this to you guys. But don't do it. I'm really trying to work on it, like literally junior year resolution, don't procrastinate, because it just fucks you so much when it's the day something's due and you haven't even looked at what it is, and it ends up being 10 hours worth of work, you know, when you thought it was going to be like a 2-hour assignment. So don't procrastinate. Fun fact, your college has a lot of on-campus resources that are there just for you, to serve you, to make your life better. My dad just told me the other day, like, you're in college right now, use all the resources that you have at your fingertips for free to get free information from anyone that you want to help you in any way for your future, because once you're out of college and in the real world, you don't get free life advice and information anymore. You have to pay people for that shit, you know? There are usually career centers that help you get internships or help you figure out like what kind of test or major is best for you if you're unsure what you want to do in the future. There is a place on FSU campus called Tutoring Zone where you can go and you pay some money and you get packets and you get better at the material, and there's someone that can help you, and that really, really helps a lot of people. There's also an on-campus computer tech place that can like help you if you're having issues with your computer or your phone. So there's a lot of resources on your campus for you that are free that you should utilize because it may make your life easier and it may help you with like your future. I really don't recommend going out or partying night before you have early morning classes or tests. It's just not worth it. I promise you, every single party and every single night out at the end of the day is the same. Literally 2 days ago, all of my friends went to happy hour. All of them, literally every single person I know and like and am friends with at FSU went to happy hour, and I did not go because I was going to work on schoolwork. That's called being responsible. And since they all went out and I didn't, I picked them all up from the bar to give them a sober ride, and they were all obviously drunk, and it was just so weird to me to like observe drunk people, like observe all my friends drunk while I was sober, and I was just like, is this really what it's like every time we're all drunk? Because this isn't that like interesting. So it's not worth it. Stay in, study, get that sleep, and then make the grade, because I promise you a good grade on a test or an assignment makes you feel so much better than that hangover you're gonna have if you go out instead. If you have any smaller size classes, I always have like 2 classes a semester where there's only like 30 students max in the class, and then my other classes are huge lectures. But in your smaller classes, really engage in class. Like sometimes the teacher is just super weird or shitty and you don't want to engage in class, because I feel that. But if the teacher's cool or like you feel comfortable talking, definitely do as much as you want. The teacher likes it. The teacher wants you to do it. Other students don't care if you say anything in class. Like I've been in classes where students have raised their hand to say some pretty weird little oddball things, and I've never been like, that person's weird for saying that. I'm just like, thank God they're talking so I don't have to. So don't be like embarrassed to speak up in class, and it makes the teacher get to know you better, and it's always better if the teacher knows you even a little. With that being said, if you do want the teacher to know who you are and you do want to be close to them, definitely introduce yourself or go to the first office hours, because otherwise they're not going to introduce themselves to you, you know? Like a teacher's not going to go out of their way to get to know you when they literally have like 1,000+ students. So if you want them to know you, you have to be ballsy and go out there and get it. But like I've said, it is good to get to know your teacher, and it is good to go to office hours. You might as well kill like 3 birds with 1 stone. And my last little piece of advice is, if you have classes that are fairly close together, like an hour, where it's too much time to just like run home just to sit there for like 20 minutes, but it's enough time to get something done, you should go to the library. You're already on campus, so that you don't have to go to like campus and then off campus and then back for the second class. Just stay there. It makes your life easier. It saves you money on gas if you're driving, saves you energy if you're walking. I just go to the library and work on assignments that I have to do that week, like in the meantime, and then that way I'm not procrastinating and I'm getting things done little by little, and then I just go to my next class. Anyway, those were all my tips. I really love you guys and really appreciate all the support that you guys give me. I love you guys so much. I'm off to do a lot of schoolwork. Be like me. Bye.